down. Turn her down. And let's see the camera. There it is. There's my screen. Yep. Okay. Talk here, look there. Okay, what's up? The music's a little loud and I'm learning to look right at the camera light. What's up again? I'm Chad. This is probably my, I don't know, under 20th time going live. I have almost 300 Facebook groups, but only maybe 5 or 7 of them have multi-thousand member folks in there. I've been invited to help moderate. Let me turn this down a little bit. On my songs, I've been playing like cash versions of Solar Fields, and I really need to get some other, like maybe Hoover Network and some other old school stuff. It's got like good ambiance. And I also got to get a new electronic fish tank. So I got my fan running in the back, so I'm just basically testing ambient noise of all sorts. I got my dogs that we've rescued here on the property. You can hear them sometimes barking. Some of them need naps. We put them in there, and then they're out in the yard. So a lot of times you'll hear them kind of cycling around. Occasionally I'll put one up on the screen. Right now they're all kind of laying down. Come here, Bandit. Come here, boy. Okay, everybody's gonna come. So this is Bandit, and he's a little guy, but he came from a pack. We save a lot of dogs that come in packs out here in Baja, and we call him Bandit because he's got the 2 eyes with the little black patches. And he's tiny, but he's a good boy. He's real sweet, and I love Bandit. We got 24 of them. Be nice. I get a little jealous, so I'm gonna let him down. Knock it off. I get a little jealous because of the pack. Go lay down. Anyways, I'm live, and just wanted to do some work, but I find that myself like talking more when I get going, so I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. It's probably good, so folks out there can get to know me and know my technical skill set beyond just a resume or what they hear about me. I like to think I'm pretty good after a couple decades plus of being on the web. I've probably built and worked on almost every type of project you could imagine. And this isn't a promo video, but I'm happy to talk about what I know. Like if you do a who is, look up on whoownsnationalfinancecorporation.com. That would be me. In my resume, I've helped found a company that my partners eventually sold to GoDaddy. They did all that hard work, but I'm happy to take the accolades. I've worked with some of the biggest finance companies in the United States, building onboarding systems, helping them deploy during heavy rebranding, multi-million-dollar rebranding efforts like LPL Financial. Built very complex, with my own hands and with my own developers, onboarding systems that ask lots of complicated questions depending on what kind of independent financial advisor you are. Had a lot of successes. And hey, come here, boy. Don't mess with my plant. I don't know what it is about that plant, but my dogs love that plant. And what was I talking about here? I could go on for hours, and sometimes I go back to and I won't. Sometimes I go back to my resume, and I'm surprised to remember a company that I had forgotten that I had worked for. And I've had my own web design companies back when that was a beginner thing, back when that was a thing. Probably served a few hundred different companies during that. Small companies went on to serve, always startups, but I mean, even some startups are worth millions. LPL Financial, I wouldn't exactly call them a startup, but I've always kind of worked in groups where we have startup projects, rebranding initiatives, and now I'm really kind of boring myself. So the point of this video was not for me to sit here and stare at myself and talk out loud. I'm testing some audio, seeing if I can run my fan. It's kind of a warm day. I don't feel like putting the AC on. Yeah, now I'm babbling, and I love to say that I'm babbling because that's a good segue to do something. So the point of this video, at least what I tagged in YouTube, was that I'm going to look at my channel, and just only like a couple weeks ago I started thinking, I would never really had interest to be a Go Live type of personality on YouTube. Let me get my coffee. I think I'm probably fading a little bit. Yeah, I don't know if you can hear me, but this is the sound check. I'm over in the coffee area here. And anyways, where was I? I want to do some work. I keep bringing up Chase Rayner because I've listened to a lot of the other guys that inspire you when you need to get into the mode of something. And Chase is into authority hacking, SEO, but he's also got like web skills, right? He uses screen scrapers, he knows about URLs, he uses bots, he's making stuff happen. He buys and sells web properties, which at the end of the day, because I have an online marketing company called Kimbodo, it's been around a while, but I've really kind of turned it back up in the past 6 months and have a real sort of game plan that's in play. We're focused on real estate marketing. And we got the platform coming online. It's out of beta. It's working great. And we actually have, we being me, but and a couple other folks, get out of the plant. Thank you, buddy. We have a large almost 28,000 member real estate group on Facebook called Homes and Land for Sale. And that group it's evolved. I've got long videos talking about it. I've learned a lot. I've evolved by working with it and growing it, and there's a lot of moderation and a lot of designing in your mind and then implementing in the real world how to make it work for so many members. You know, if it's a 100-person group, that's easy. Hey, if it's a 100-person group, that's easy, but when you get to 27,000, you're really dealing with a fire hose of posts coming in if you don't moderate every post. And so like in our post queue, we have over 8,000 posts right now. And I would say like 4,000, maybe more, are posts we don't want. Either spam or people who are lazy and they're using software or bots to post. And I don't know why I'm talking about the group. I spend a lot of time on it. So I've really slowed that feed down. And with that, I think I've become an expert and to a degree in groups, especially when you want to monetize, and not just that, but understanding the intricacies of them, even like what goes down people's news feeds. I almost feel like sometimes my smaller groups are more focused on a message and they're more intimate, and sometimes the stuff I share there actually makes it out to those folks. It's really tough to get exact analytics from Facebook unless you do a number of things, and I didn't want to make this video about that, but I certainly will be talking about that over time, because where we are today is I've cleaned up the group with a small team. We've started to monetize and sell very affordable positioning on the group, and we've also developed a directory with maps and property configurations and pricing for everybody who's an independent real estate broker, agent, someone who's selling their home on their own, buyer or seller. So we've made a website where folks who just want to put up one property can, and I don't know, I'm gonna have to move that plant every time I work on that. Let me turn the light on too. Every time I get a video going, I got a dog over there who wants to sniff the dirt. I didn't get the dirt outside, so I don't know, must have something good in it. Anyways, so where was I? Babbling, once again, not doing the stuff I planned to go live with on the video. So I think that I'm sort of relying on numbers. Like if you listen to Chase Rayner, let me turn the music up and get some action going here. When you look at someone like Chase Rayner, he said, "Boy, get out of the plant." Okay, I don't want to move it. Thank you. I hope my dog speaks English, because, gosh. Okay, we'll turn the music up. All right. So yep, solar fields movements yet again. I need to download some more. To save on bandwidth, I download video. Kind of a repeat. I use 4K downloader. Maybe I should contact them and say, hey, give me an affiliate link because I bring you up so much. But anyways, back to me pointing at myself on the camera, looking at myself. Yeah, monetizing groups, getting yourself out there, making a YouTube channel, building a property listing site system on Kimbodo, running an online marketing system, company. It goes beyond just, man, I'm getting interrupted here. Hey, I'm not going to tell you again, you go outside. Do not eat the plant dirt. don't know where to put the plant. I put it in my room. It's not bright enough for it, okay? Thank you, boy. Sorry, guys. All right. So again, I don't believe anybody's going to watch this entire thing. I got a few friends that are saying, "Oh, I love your show, what you're doing." And I say, I can't believe you even saying that because it isn't a show. But hey, maybe it'll go to my head. Maybe I'll be like everybody else out there who's become a YouTube star. I met a guy the other day on Facebook, and I said, "Hey man, you're not moderating your group very well, and you got property folks in there." And I said, "You're getting a lot of spam. You want to sell your group?" And he's like, "Well, I don't even mess with the group." He says he's making $1,800 a month on YouTube, and they sell mobile homes. So that's cool. You know, I've made a lot more money in my time than $1,800 a month, and I don't know how much time that's taking for him. But I could tell he really liked it. I watched his videos, and there's some folks out there, and I guess I'm kind of finding out about myself, that we do have an ability to just sort of talk. You know, if you got a product that you're going to introduce to me, I could talk about it. You want me to interview you about your book? A friend of mine said that his brother has a book, that he's written the third one, and he's sold some things on Amazon, sold some books. I think I'm the kind of guy that, even though I only got 10 subscribers, I don't think that's how it's going to be forever. I think that I'm more happy about, when you look at numbers, guys, you think thousands or 1 million subscribers is a thing. It is. But as long, I think in the early days and even later on, if you always think about the core people that you're trying to get a message to, your sphere of influence, not just 5, but 15, maybe 25 people or 50 people that you're doing business with, really think about who those people are and if they're engaged with what you have to say and your skill set level and what you bring to the table, and if they like you, right? That's what this is about. It's like, people are so busy now, they can't pick up the phone every time I call. I'm going to leave a voicemail. Some people don't listen to voicemails. There's so many communication channels, but with video, they can at their own time kind of say like, "Hey, what was Chad saying about building sites on Google Cloud with a free SSL cert and a free WooCommerce theme and 1 year free from Google, and you can build an entire store for free?" And like, you know, you can't get that if you're going to go with Squarespace or Shopify or go to GoDaddy, which uses a shared system, which I'm not an affiliate of GoDaddy, and if I ever become one, maybe I won't say this, but the shared servers are slow, man. You're going to put your site out there and try to run a system, and you're going to have crappy SEO. And speaking of which, if you're into SEO, check out Chase Rainer's channel on YouTube, where he does authority hacking and advanced SEO topics. He's got packages, but he's also got a bunch of series that he's put out where he teaches his girlfriend the basics of SEO. But there's enough content in there. When you go to stuff, there's enough content in there that it's helpful, even for folks who've done SEO for years, as part of the entire job of being a web producer, a developer, a designer, a programmer, an entrepreneur, whatever title it is you're wearing. When you can build entire stacks, full stack developer, you're gonna sit through teams, or you're gonna have to make stuff told by the SEO company, "Hey, do this, do that." You go make the changes. You're gonna learn SEO. So I'm kind of on a tangent now. Where was I? Talking about my YouTube channel. That was a part of this video. I'm going to start looking at it through a new objective eye. I'm learning from other YouTubers that there's just a number of things you can do to get subscribers. Like, hey, if you like this content and you're still watching, don't wait till the end of my video and you get distracted and go have some fun. Why don't you go ahead and click that subscribe button? And it's like not there, but I imagine I'm going to end up floating it right about here. Click that button, okay? Before I continue on babbling. Subscribe to my channel. Let's break the 10 ceiling. I'm on number 10. I've literally asked all my friends, and I'm surprised I have 10 friends. I can't believe it. So I got 10. My mom's going to subscribe too, but she doesn't use YouTube too much. So when she gets on there, she will, then I'll be at 11. All right, enough jokes. Get on there and subscribe. Ring the bell, as they say. Subscribe to my channel and watch me evolve. You know, I almost coughing here. My studio is going to get better. My screensaver is going to get better. See if I can fix that up. Get it going. So what is Kimbodo? Since I was on that topic, it's a company that I have found and founded, but I've found gives me the wide canvas of my career to do and produce and lead and implement and deploy and monetize and sell and create the wide gamut of things I've learned in my career. So we do real estate marketing, we do consolidated debt marketing, which is essentially systems where borrowers who have debt come in. Often it's been with student lending. Remember, I used to own National Finance Corporation when I was actively a lender, an electronic lender. When the paper changed, when the Democrats kind of took over the House, they implemented a flat rate on the size of loans that could be bought by larger private organizations. I don't want to get into too much detail, but even the banking partners I was with decided that they were going to get out of that business for a period of time, and that's in my rearview mirror a little bit, but it's coming back up. You know, now that the way the state of the economy is and student lending, debt, etc., next quarter I'm going to be bringing systems back online, ones that I built for years that did almost, I'm trying to remember the number and not embellish it, but I mean, the table has over 1 million records in it, so 1 million people went through my system to consolidate student loans. And so we were first an application service provider, then we became a lender. At one point, one of my clients, before we became a lender, got an increase of monies from their partner closer to $6 billion. I seem to remember that when we were a lender for that last year before I closed that business and went on to do other development, which I was really glad I did. I got into online marketing enterprise. And before I tell you about that, I'll tell you, we were given a $60 million line of credit to do student loan consolidation because we were kind of new to the business. We had experience. We had a really built out system, but kind of new to the other side of it where you get the loans and so on. So we made some really good money. And we helped a lot of borrowers who were in debt consolidate their loans and get a cheaper rate that actually saved them more money, counsel them on how to save money. So I know a ton about consolidated debt. Another thing that I think that we're going to be moving into, so that's going to be the following, probably Q2 of 2020, that I really bring those systems back on and start putting the Google Ads on. So this video has really turned into like an about me video, I guess. But I'm now Google Ads certified. In my career, especially in the student lending side, with my clients that were leasing our software systems, we built automated bots that would do a lot of the gathering of loans in a much more secure way. People think bots, they think maybe it doesn't sound so official, but it's the cleanest way, rather than giving a human being access to a system, but then they go to lunch and they leave paperwork around, or they're just being humans, and it's good to be a human, but nothing more like a robot that you've trained to securely go in and get people's private data and put it into the loan document. So we did a lot of that. So even with that software alone, one client paid us $4,000 a month, and it sat there, and all it did every day was get hundreds and thousands of dollars worth of loan data automatically, and we do it in 6 seconds. So that was a time in my career, guys, that I can tell you that I've leased my time as a developer plenty of times. I've been a consultant, a contractor, and that's what I did after that stint, after NFC. But I'll never forget the summers I had where at least did for 3 years. And man, I'd come in out of the sun after maybe surfing or skateboarding just to check on the software. It had great uptime. I ended up rewriting it. And it was just sitting there doing its job. So there was the first time in my career where I said, it really is possible to build a system that makes you money, but you don't have to work. And who out there isn't trying to sell or scour the internet for make money while you sleep? Sorry, one of my dogs is in there being a little loud, but she probably got up from her nap. When I'm a little loud, she gets. So anyways, that was an amazing experience, building that web service employee, is what we called it, the WSE. It made our clients really successful. They didn't have to grow a team of 10 software developers, and we literally just plugged that into their business. It's what helped us become a lender. So like I said, the state of the economy for student lending changed back then, and so I got out of the business too. So did our banking partners. They were saying, we're going to probably get out of it too, because of the flattening of the value of the paper. That's changed. So mid next year, depending on how things go with some of the politics, we'll go right into that business doing student loan marketing. So Kimboda will also build systems, which we already have in the back room, that'll come online. There'll be landing pages, there'll be funnels is what they call them now, but it's basically a multi-step process. Much like the real estate aggregation of data, you're basically taking people through stages where they're kind of looky-loos, and then they're kind of getting a little more serious, and they're kind of falling in love with your brand a little bit, and they want to talk to you, and they want to do business with you. Especially in this world, there's always apples for apples on the web. It's like I could consolidate with these guys or consolidate with these guys. My dad even helped us back then with the student lending, and when borrowers would call, and he has this cool accent from the Midwest, and he would say, well, let me tell you something. My son Chad made this great system to help you, and I don't know a lot about this stuff, but I'm here to answer phones and tell you that I can get you your good faith estimate from the system. I can tell you that my son is honest and hardworking, and every single time my dad would close the deal. Because people, when they're looking apples for apples in student lending, they could go with some big lender where they talk to a nice person on the other line, but if they call back, they may not get the same rep. They might get the rep, but the rep will be gone. It's not the same as like the heartland of America where there's a startup person who's built a system. And our system was, because of the efficiency of it, we were able to pay the highest fees on Google Ads. It's now called Google Ads. I think I mentioned I've got 2 certifications from Google now. So we were paying $25 a click. I'm not afraid to say it because you can go get this information if you look yourself. It might even be more now. So you pay high premium on the clicks, and your system better be really efficient. And a lot of the banks out there, the very large ones that we all use and we all know, they'll consolidate your loans. But they have teams of people in a room who do that manually. Fill in the form manually, taking tens of minutes on the phone with you, checking systems, making clerical errors. The cost on the loans for them internally go way up because they're using human capital or people to do the busy work, right? So our clients back then, and including our company, we could focus just on talking to the borrowers and asking how their weather is and giving them real educational advice on what they're doing. And that was awesome. Systems helped us do that. So that's what Kimboda is. Kimboda is a collection of technologies and my vision. Hey buddy, are you hungry? I just fed you. You thirsty? Got water over here. Can you leave the dish? Hey, don't play with the dish. I was just about to just make the punchline there. The music changed and everything. So you can tell I care a lot about technology and marketing and funnels, as they call them now, and connecting people to people that will help them. There's plenty of marketing companies out there that will sell you a bunch of leads or give you a landing page and sell your data off, and they'll do nefarious things or things that are deceptive just enough where they'll get some complaints but they won't get in trouble, and we've all run into those. Being a data technologist, being someone who's built systems, being someone who could do something else with my career rather than just online marketing, I'm not gonna do that. I have ethics. You know what taught me the ethics? My mom, great people I've worked with, and systems. See, if you're gonna build really complicated, complex systems, there's a lot of logical rules in them. There's no bending the rules. So when you build the best system, pound for pound, you're gonna win. Like even against the banks out there who say, well, we got a lot of deep pockets and we can advertise and we can buy that $25 a click. Well, if the system's no good, meaning like at the top of it, there's a form and they're telling the borrower, you fill it out. Call all your debt locations, call everybody you ever took a loan from, fill it in, fax it to us, and then we'll tell you and we'll consolidate you, and we're not even gonna give you any benefits package. We are too big of a bank. We can't afford it, and they squeeze out every penny they can. What was my point? My point is that I really care about connecting someone registering into one of our systems with somebody on the other end who has the right connecting product or service. So like right now with that 28,000 person group, it's roughly 27.8 that's out on Facebook. We're now collecting emails, states that they're looking to buy or sell in, and what was the third one? Email, whether they're a buyer or seller, and what state they're interested in. So I got that. So you can only do 3 fields out there on Facebook for the admin forms. So as that data comes in, I find myself going, gosh, I just talked to someone the other day in Indiana, they're a real estate agent. I just talked to someone over there on chat, or not so much on the phone these days. There's someone in Illinois, and this person here wants to buy anywhere in Illinois. That's the note that they put in. And I find myself going, well, I do see a business opportunity here to make a penny or $1 or a higher number for how much work that our company puts in. But really, I'm interested in connecting that. Because if the people that we partner with who want to connect with them, they pay us for leads, if you will, I want those leads to be good. Otherwise, why am I doing all of this? I want the people on this end to be happy that they met somebody on this end. And we're going to use our systems to find the best of the best. We'll find the best, in real estate, the best buyers, because we'll pre-qualify them with as much as we can. And we're going to meet the best agents. And we already know some, like in San Diego, California. We work with Junko Real Estate over by over in Carlsbad. He's got 8 counties there. He does an amazing job. 5-star guy and team. They're awesome people. So what could be more fun than being a networker, right? So the Kimbodo network of systems is exactly that. And that was the point of this whole thing. And really I started this video because I want to build a landing page on Kimbodo, the real estate partition. And I need to refactor some content. And, God bless whoever came up with the page I'm about to look at. So I know enough about copyright law and intellectual property to know that as long as I don't copy and paste, it's not stealing. And what do we all do when we want to learn? And ethically, I have no problem with going and finding the top SEO ranking page on, it happens to be Realtor.com's page, and they talk about different reasons why you would want an agent, or you can sell your home on your own, but you still have to pay brokerage fees for I think it was the seller. I don't know. Remember, I'm an online marketer. I don't know everything, but I can look up the little details, and we're going to find out right now. So the point of this video I wanted to do, and I'll probably chop it up for content, because here I am just on my bandwagon saying, look, if you want to understand who Kimbodo is as a company, it's an entity that I've built, a brand. It was around in 2012. We built some really beautiful WordPress websites for top producers at LPL Financial, really helped them get a leg up. And every time I see their websites now, because we did it in sort of a trial run, because back then it was like, well, let's just see how this can work. Software as a service, build these up, certain amount of page changes per month, et cetera, et cetera. It was a good run. It worked. We built billing systems, and I wanted to personally switch directions for a little while, and I did. So after I did a stint at LPL Financial, prior to that I had my own student lending company, lender with full lender codes. Prior to that, we were an application service provider. And prior to that, I had my internet service provider that we sold to GoDaddy. So coming fast forward, after the LPL Financial stint, did I start Kimbodo then? Yeah, I think I started Kimbodo then and did those sites in the evenings, in the days. And then I picked up a consulting contract at Epsilon ADS. Formerly, it was Aspen Marketing. So Aspen did automotive, and they had every other VIN number in the United States car in their database, huge database. And they had legacy systems that most of the logic was in the database itself, which is like historically no bueno. because that stuff can get really hard to modify or know if you move one plumbing over here, what you do to something over there, and it becomes really complex. And only the database guys seem to know how the thing works. So now you've got a system that the entire business is running on, and only one or two people understand it or have window into it, and the longer and more changes you do, that, etc. So the decoupling of systems with database to middle tier to front end have been going on for a while, and it helps companies diversify risk even in their human capital of who really knows the entire system. And now I'm on a big point. The point is during that stint, I worked with them 3 years as a consultant through one of my companies, which was a cloud computing company. We did consultancy. God, I've worked so many places and over the 25 years. And we ended up spending a $7 million budget to re-platform the whole thing. With so much data, we bought Salesforce, that's $35,000 a month version. We bought SQL Server licenses, and we bought software that would do provisioning, drop entire servers, application servers and web servers, drop them in, before it drops them, clones them, does a deployment from prod. I mean, big enterprise moves in building this system. We worked with several OEMs who were on the pilot program, General Motors, Mercedes, Audi, Ford, like all of them. I'm just gonna keep looking away and go like this. So I learned a lot. And during that phase, I became the head of, this is a 500 person company at the time, San Diego offices too, Chicago as well, offshore. I worked so much that the second hire on our team was a former CTO and manager at Microsoft from way back, a guy named Jerry Miller. He's got a really successful cloud company now, mostly runs it on Amazon. He wrote about me on my LinkedIn, said I'm one of the hardest working people he's ever met. Now, I don't know if that's a compliment. He didn't say the best programmer. He's known a lot of great programmers. I like to think I'm okay. But it was a compliment because a lot of people have worked hard for him, and also, when he was at Microsoft, I think he had thousands of employees reporting to him. So it was an honor to work with him and a lot of other people like Greg Wasmuth from Co-Creators Group. He's got an amazing company. I love his YouTube channel. He's really conscientious. I got to work with some smart people there. So what was the point of that? During that stint, I brought in 5 or 6 people on my own team, really made some money, really led a team of 60 people, technically. I didn't have to sit through all the business manager stuff, I'd report the stuff, but I was in the midst of it. And as a leader, you have to basically be present. And so I was present a lot. And we built a lot. Enterprise mashup like you wouldn't believe. So many systems that have their own users table, you don't know which system is which, is really the system of record, and really there isn't one. You install single sign-on across the board, and you support like an identity manager in the middle, and once someone's serialized, you just basically do using role managers across. It can get complicated, but it's doable. So we installed a large portal from Kentico. I think we spent upwards of $70,000 on that licensing alone. I mean, Kentico's an amazing company, and their portal systems do a lot. I went on later as a consultant to help install those for like San Diego County Credit Union, Point Loma County Credit Union, and a few others. But kind of going back to them, during the $7.6 million spend that we spent and hired and developed and did Agile and did all of that, we got acquired for $600 million. So that's a success story. But looking back, I remember the stress. There's a lot of stress that comes with stuff like that. So right after I left there, I really started to focus on Kimbodo even more. Had some successes there, very mom and pop. And Kimbodo's been a labor of love. Now, at the stage of my career that I'm in now, I think I'm ready. I know I'm ready to make Kimbodo what it's destined to be. An online marketing platform for the small to medium to large business. It doesn't matter. Because I've helped companies. I've helped 2 guys walk in my old company way back in the day that had a lender code, and they would always tell me they made their $1 million by leasing my software. I saw them become millionaires because of the hard work and software that we built and leased to them. they love showing me their balance sheet, where it's like the day we met, they had $60 in their bank. But they had so much passion, so much belief that, hey, we're gonna do this. You know, one of the founders, he would like hit his hands on the table. He was a much older gentleman in his 60s. He's like, we're gonna be the biggest. You know, I'll never forget it. And the other gentleman, his other partner, was much more calm, much more reserved. And so I ended up working with him a lot. And I learned a lot about patience and what really drives developers or companies, people serving you, who are making a system for you. He was patient, and his appreciation made us, all of us on the team, work harder to make the stuff we did for them the best. We owned all the technology, but we could work on a lot of different customer stuff. But when someone was thankful and grateful and patient and poignant and detailed and grateful and just kept that cyclical thing going, within a 3-year period, you're going to build the best system in the industry. So sometimes you'll see companies that have all the money in the world and they have crappy systems. And you're just like, how did that happen? It's because they don't have leadership or product owners or customers involved that really care. So I really care about Kimbodo, and I care about the people using the systems on one side of it, and I care where that data goes and how it's handled, both technically, legally, and from a marketing standpoint. I'm not just going to sell it off. You know how many people I bought leads from that sometimes were crooks? More than I got good leads from. You know, I'm not going to put percentages out there, but there were plenty of times I had to go back to my bank and fight with someone who sold me a bunch of fake leads, or leads that they said, yeah, these leads are brand new and nobody else has them, and I paid a premium for them, cash. They'd expect a check. That should have been an indicator because there's no chargebacks. They want a check. And I'd buy, you know, multi-$1,000s worth of leads. I'd buy from Google, I'd buy from them, and the leads would be terrible. And then the persons would literally tell me on the other end, they're in another state, hey, good luck getting your money back, and laugh at me. Well, I got the money back, you know, because I know a lot about technology, and you learn, if you're a researcher, a problem solver, quiet boy, you learn to go read the laws about running stuff online. And those people that had sold me some leads had forgotten a few things about they needed to do on their website, like the click agree system. Can't be a shrink wrap style, it has to have it right there. Can't be on the second page. Or the footer has to have their corporate address, not just empty. So by violating a few of those rules in their state and doing commerce out of state, the bank sided with me. They wouldn't just give me my money back because I said they owe me the money and the leads were terrible, but instead I went to the bank and said they messed up in 12 different places on their website, so I want my money back. And the bank said yes. And I do that. If someone wants to be a fraudster, they should not get to keep the money. And now I'm just babbling about things that have challenged me to be better at my job, which is running technology companies. And in this case, Kimbodo, an online marketing company. I'm streaming this live. I've got nothing to hide. You can see it in my eyes that I really do know what I'm talking about. I have experienced it. I could write up all the resumes in the world. I could get on the phone and sell it to one other person or another, a potential investor or buyer, and say, yeah, I did all this stuff and I'm amazing at this. No, that's great, and that's going to be beneficial, but nothing better than by like showing folks what you got going on. So I've really gotten on a tangent here. I care a lot about Kimbodo.com and the brand because it's coming from my heart. The things I've learned from other entrepreneurs who've spent their lives building stuff to lose and win and lose more than they win. Like the guys in the student loan company that I helped way back when, before I became a lender, I leased my software to them. The passion that they had to be successful showed me a lot. The lessons that those older guys taught me, and now I'm an older guy, it means something. I know what it means to work hard. I know what it means to sleep under your desk or on a couch that's in the back room at your office. I know what it means to not have life balance. I'm not saying you have to do any of that. And I don't want to be an Alex Becker, or who's that other guy? I can't even think of his name right now. Ty Lopez. I don't even watch him, but I watch some Becker stuff. You can check him out. You know, he'll say stuff like, if you really want to be successful, you got to get enough sleep. You got to stop drinking. You got to get away from white sugar, powdered sugar. You got to, don't do drugs. So, I mean, go figure. Be clear-headed. Use your entire brain. Be rested. You know, he says, Becker goes on, yeah, he keeps repeating it. Don't use marijuana, don't drink, get lots of sleep, focus on your work, don't wait for something to tell you that it's time to do it, just do it kind of stuff. And a lot of his other stuff that he does, maybe it's kind of a waste of time. Sometimes he swears, he gets a little bit grandiose, and it's interesting to watch. But I mean, he did inspire me to start making it happen, along with some other folks I've been listening to. I've been listening, and I'll put out my YouTube list at some point of things that I listen to, audiobooks about, like one about discipline and getting it and gaining it and really wanting it and what to do, right? We know all these things, but when you get reinforced, it helps. So here I am on a Saturday talking for I don't know how long now. I don't even want to check. Probably half an hour. Boys, go lay down. My dogs. About my passion. It is my purpose. Okay? When you finally can find your purpose to where you're talking into a camera and putting it out there for the world to watch, this is honest talk here. My purpose is to build successful companies so that when I find the profitability in the company, I can look back and be proud I built a company that had some tangible value, that did what it said it was intended to do, and then also had some intrinsic value all the way up the tiers, from what's in the database, to the middle tier technology, to the maturity of the front end, the full stack, and the people that work in the company. I want them all to have that kind of care in their heart about the business, because I will sense if you're working for the business and making a salary from the business and you just dare to make money, you don't belong in the company. You need to go work somewhere else to punch a time card. I want other people to care about what we're building. And I want what we build to be cool, to work, to be secure, to do what it promises. You know, if it's promised that you're going to help connect you with the best lenders in student lending, and you fill out the forms and it gives you a good faith estimate in 6 seconds, gets all your loans back for you, then I'll be nothing but more proud than ever to look at that. Real estate marketing. Just today, one of the folks that we help advertise as our preferred member on our largest group told me the advertising's working and he just sold 2 homes. And I was just really happy. I wasn't surprised. We've really been doing a good job, giving them lots of exposure at the top of our pages, talking about them in our videos. But it's a validation, because you can make money, you can build things, but if you don't build things to a qualitative level, if you don't help people, that's not the kind of person I am. That's not the type of entrepreneur I want to look back and be like, well, I was one of those really hot shot marketers that was basically selling hot air, and there's a new sucker every day that'll spend $4K, like Dan Lok. Like, hey, Dan Lok, if you're watching this, I hope you don't get too mad, but I looked you up. And you're great at marketing on YouTube because you got a lot of videos out there, and then you learned how to attach over to another one that got me into watching you. But then I went and looked you up on Consumer Affairs, and you got like thousands of 1 stars or hundreds. I don't know. I don't want to say anything here, but plenty of people complaining. So part of me is like, well, maybe that's part of success. Maybe there's 1 million people that love him, that did his program, and then there's just all these people here that seem really upset. I hope that doesn't happen to me. I know that there'll be some broken eggs when you have that many things going on. And I don't want to talk down Dan Lok. I've watched his stuff enough to know that I don't get tips from him. Like, he starts talking and he's like, hey, if people want to do business with me, I take the money first. I don't do proposals. I don't do anything. Get out of the plant. And then I watched his other video where he's got people in the place who paid money to sit there and watch him talk. And there's like a girl over in the corner. She looks like she's falling asleep sitting there. And he's using the whiteboard and he's doing his thing. And like, I didn't get any value out of watching it. The only value I got out of watching one of his videos was I started to understand what he meant by, like, if people don't want to just give me money and trust that I know what I'm doing, then I don't even talk to them. Well, he's grown to a point where I could understand it. I don't think I'm at that point here where I'm not going to sell to every person that'll listen to me, but I could understand that once your reputation grows enough, and he had one traditionally. Some folks had said his earlier programs were better. So hey, maybe just like anything else, when you are your best and then maybe your second best comes out, you can always come back and reinvent yourself. So Dan Locke, if I get associated with any of your videos for my YouTube video, it will be a miracle. I got 10 subscribers. You know, and what do I know? I don't got the millions in the bank yet to prove that I am some genius marketer or spinster or whoever is doing stuff to push their programs up. You know, like ClickFunnels. A lot of people talking about ClickFunnels. I watched some stuff where they associated stuff with a kid, and the kid seemed like he was on Mountain Dew times 1,000. It's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Like, we're just talking about forms here that do some work. Let's not overhype stuff into a religion, and then people are just buying it, like to the point where my cousin's calling me, does marketing, and he's like, I don't understand what ClickFunnels is. No one will talk to me. People just keep telling me to buy it. Like, just buy it. I don't know what it does. And it's like, I looked into it and I'm like, man, when you look into something and I can't tell what it is right away, just stay away from it for a little while, unless you want to get into hype sales. You know, it almost sounds like MLM, like, hey, you put in $4,000 and you put in $4,000 and I put in $4,000 and then everybody below me who puts in $4,000, I make $1,000, and then it's like, those are Ponzi schemes. I'm not saying ClickFunnels is. I'm not making this video to get in trouble with anybody. In fact, nothing I'm saying here is based on data, just opinion from what I've seen by doing my own independent research. Okay? Really on a tangent here. The point of this video was to do some work. To do some refactoring of a page for a landing page for one of my real estate clients so that we can put the page out and advertise it so it gives someone some information. And they type in a certain phrase or two that's about a certain thing, they'll land on it and they'll be like, let me get some information. Yeah, it's helpful. And then by giving them a little bit something, there's a little bit of a knowledge trade. They're like, oh, okay, I trust that you gave me something. And I like your brand, and I'm going to go ahead and go to the next step and search for some properties. And then I'm going to meet the people that you're saying are top agents. Okay, so, oh, my dog. So that's the point of this video. If the dogs start going a little too crazy, I'm going to have to stop the video and do a second part. Where I actually do some work rather than just getting in this big bandwagon here. Which it felt good to get it out. Because saying all that, it's for you as much as it is for me and for Kimbodo. It's sort of like a battle cry of saying, I've got enough information, I've got enough experience, and now we're just doing it. We're going to do it. And we've been doing it. And I'm so proud to see where Kimbodo has grown again in this step. And I'm just going to keep pushing it along with my team and all the people that believe in it and our clients. And I do hear the excitement in the brand when people talk to say, hey man, we can't wait to see what's next. You know, our client, the one who sold his house on one of our groups, on our real estate groups, he'd gotten good advertising. He said, I'm looking forward to going to the next tier of whatever you offer. And frankly, in that group, he's still in tier 1. I mean, he can have up to 10 properties posted and for what he paid. And so I appreciate that he wants to share more money with us and have us do more for him. And we do a lot of different things. You know, we do Google that are outside of what that offering is. We run Google Ads campaigns for real estate marketing and also student lending. One thing I didn't talk about, and maybe I will close out this video after I kind of talk about it, and then I'll do a hands-on video. We have an online school. And in that, it's going to have education material for real estate marketing, even for developers and designers on that side of it in marketing. It's going to have React.js, which is the hottest technology in there. I've got groups that I run that have 2,500 members who just love React, Vue.js, Node.js, JavaScript, a language I've used for 20-something years. I think the language has been around that long. So a lot to do, but we're just going to keep doing it and keep rescuing dogs at our property here. And anybody watching this, if you want to be a part of a story in helping a dog that we saved from the toughest situations, cured them of parvo, they didn't have a chance, starved, sorry to switch it up like that, abandoned, no water, in the sun, by some ranch in the middle of nowhere in Baja, Mexico, we've saved a bunch of dogs. And we've got them here. I've got a nonprofit called worthwhilecauses.org. Every year we give away shoes. Last year, we reached the number 500 pairs of shoes. I helped give away a lot of them myself. I'm not looking for any accolades here. I'm telling you that that kind of passion gets you right here, and it changes you, you know, when it comes to money. So when I talk about Kimbodo as my purpose of helping people and networking people together and making Kimbodo something that is outside of just a small startup. Honey, I'm gonna let you guys out, okay? That was pretty loud. I think they're fighting over a sock. They love fighting over my socks. What was I saying? Kimbodo is my purpose because it's the culmination of my entire career, and I know what businesses make money. And I also have a nonprofit that likes to give. But to get that full wheel turning, it takes your own two hands and your mind to work on things that generate value, to be able to give back. It's in all the business books. We all know this stuff. So I hope to God one day that this video is being watched by its 1,000th person who watches it and they become inspired. And maybe they go to the US border, irregardless of the politics going on out there, and they go to that little Chinese-owned shop where they only speak Chinese and Spanish, not English. You gotta love America. Everybody's got an opportunity. And you can buy a pair of shoes for $10, and then you can walk right into a country where they, at least at this moment, it's somewhere, but I don't know the exact number, but I think it's $7 a day. It might be 12, but I think it's 7 is the minimum wage for people. And they got Home Depot here, and they got Walmart here, and we're in Baja, where I run a nearshore office, so I can bring my folks from India I've worked with for years to come and work here. They work here, and they work on our time zone. No more making them work at 3 a.m. to be at our time at 3 o'clock for some meeting. It just makes sense. Good weather, good internet infrastructure, and affordable offices to run. We are completely bootstrapped. We run out of the profits. I learned that a long time ago. If you're good at what you're doing, you can start up and you can grow out of the profits. You can become a very valuable, scrappy startup that gets acquired. So I've been offered to be bought by plenty of big lenders before. Hey, let's just buy Chad and his team and his technology. Let's offer him 500 grand. And I turn them down, plus the salary. And go ahead and work from home. I mean, it sounded great, and I really thought about it. But I also knew what it would be like to be owned by somebody else, to be somebody else's cog. And I had plenty of money and everything I wanted during those times when I had those offers. And I have everything I need now. So it's when you find your purpose, it's to build an engine that helps people do business in verticals that are valuable. We're not selling slinkies here or widgets that aren't worth anything. We're working with online marketing for real estate, online education, and consolidation of debt. And there's other verticals that I'm interested in too, insurance. Because if you really look at the database in the center of all that, most people are gonna need insurance for their car or their home, or people are gonna need consolidation of debt, or people are gonna need to buy or sell a home, maybe even rent. We do have that switch in our system. So when you start to build a database of people and a company that helps people find what they're looking for, you create value. So Kimbodo.com, it's an amazing company. It's in its early days, and I hope to God someday be watching this video and going, I remember that Xbox One, I remember that TV, I remember that whiteboard, I remember those dogs. They'll be a little older then, laying around a little bit more. Hopefully they won't be digging in my plant. You know, maybe they'll even be adopted. Got 24 dogs here. We've helped 42 other dogs get corrective surgeries because veterinary vets here, very affordable. When I go to my San Diego office, I bring one of my dogs with me. If I take my dog to the vets in San Diego and it's really sick and I'm worried as hell and it's happened before, man, they upsell me at the worst times of my life. They come in and say, well, your dog needs this and this, each shot, 125, 175, but you should really give your dog this, this, and this too. And you're like in fear because you're like, your dog is so sick and you don't know exactly what's wrong. And what are you gonna do? Cut corners? No, you spend $600 over there in the United States. So I have my own issue with how not all veterinarians in the United States are like that. But I ran into a couple that really make that money. And God bless them, you know, it's not illegal. But what my point was here, there's dogs that suffer here. And the vets here are extremely affordable. So if you look at what I've done, I'm kind of switching back from the business that I live and then also the nonprofit work that we do here in Baja, California. There's plenty of Americans here, there's American Mexicans here. We rent our property and lease it from a Mexican American. Her name is America. Go figure. And I've had a chance to have us learn Spanish. I mean, I need a little bit of practice. It's been a couple of days since I've talked it. But I mean, hola, ¿cómo estás? Me llamo Chad. Yo tengo mucho español. Yo hablo mucho español. Tengo muchos amigos en Baja. Yo quiero mucho aprender español. Es no perfecto. Mi español es no perfecto, pero yo tengo mucho español. Yo sé muchas palabras. Yo tengo 500 palabras todo, más o menos. Me gusta español. Yo tengo español. I will go to places like this and find the value in everything. When we rescued our dogs, the most recent that were over by the orphanage, where we gave out 100 pairs of shoes. Those kids didn't even have socks. Okay. So I probably need to tone it down a little bit because I didn't want the video to go all crazy. But just try to bear with me when I say that I care a lot about Kimbodo. I care enough to make this video and put myself out there. And when I remembered just recently this last Christmas when we gave those 100 pairs, we gave out a lot more shoes than that out. We went to more than one orphanage. And we also have a program at worthwhilecauses.org where we give out Google Minis, which are like those Alexas, and they teach in Spanish and English. So embarrassed. You can't imagine what it's like to give a brand new pair of shoes to a little kid who's wearing shoes that are 4 or 5 sizes too big, and then realize that they don't even have socks, and then it's not a game. Like their fingernails and their toenails dirty. They got little smiles. I have my little music speaker with me. They love 70s music. Let them play with that little JBL speaker, and we play loud music. So now you know a little bit more about who I am. I care a lot about Kimbodo. I'm putting myself out there on the web. This video has been going for so dang long. I don't think anybody will see this part. But that's the beauty of what I'm doing, what I've learned from some of the other marketers out there, is put yourself out there, be a real person. So when you spend money with Kimbodo, when you spend money with me and my companies, you gotta know that you have an opportunity to also invest in other people out here or over there. And we have campaigns we run in the United States too. And I really do not like having conversations with people who go, well, what about our Americans that are starving and having it tough? Man, I understand. You know, we rescue dogs over there in Missouri, but until you can be in an area of extreme poverty where there are no government programs, none. Again, it is not fair to compare one of the wealthiest nations in the world to another one that's growing and coming up. And I'm not asking you to do that. I'm just telling you that when you happen to be physically in a spot to see 100 kids show up at an orphanage that's been shut down, and they show up from the community, it's in Manadero, and some of their hair is so dirty it looks like they have hairspray in it, and you can't help but give everything you have. So that's the spirit that I take. into building Kimbodo because I know that it's going to be one of the greatest. It's going to be the biggest. It cares about its clients, and it's going to grow out of the profits. And its founder and its founding partners and people that help us grow, they have an opportunity, and they have, to help give. And we do the shoe drives every year. Christmas is coming up. You know, I made a goal a couple of years back when we started, and I said, it just started on a whim. I picked up some shoes because I knew where to buy them cheap at the border, and I was coming down to build this office space. And we have so much abundance. I do. And I just tired of driving by people that are humble and have just did not have opportunity. And you can't save everybody because you only have so much resource, but I could certainly buy some shoes. So that was the Shoes for People campaign. And then it was the Google Minis campaign. And I'm going to pull up Worthwhile, and we're on Facebook. Look us up, Shoes for People, worthwhilecauses.org. I mean, I'm so sorry because I know on Facebook when people get their, hey, put some money towards this initiative, I get touched too. But I mean, this is my real program. I really care about this. So I'm going to show you. I mean, the website, we are incorporated, Shoes for People. We've given out, where's my camera? We've given out over 10 minis. We also put some walls on a school that none of us would ever, from the United States, would consider a school. But it didn't have walls for 5 years. And one of our customers and really good friends donated the $500, and materials are cheap enough here, labor is cheap enough here. We put up the walls on the school and even got them some power lines, and they just got water, and good for them. You know, and they're doing it too. It's their spirit that really taught me that it's like when we say we're doing it, hey, if they keep doing it, then we can keep doing it. And we're doing it well. So, and then the Safe Track technology, if you guys can see my screen. While I've been down here, I've had a chance to give shoes to the local police, fire department, the junior firemen, and just about anybody who I could see that they need a pair of shoes, we give them a pair of shoes, if we have them in inventory. The Safe Track technology is, we work with the local government here, the local city. There's a lot of kids at risk, people at risk. People go disappeared. There's advertisements once in a while in the online where it's like, where did this person go? So anyways, I'm really on a tangent here, but we've developed a way to put little trackers in the shoes. So for some of the children that are highest at risk for being put into things I don't even want to talk about, disappearing, gone in other states, that's why we have the Safe Track technology. So if you're sitting around and you got a bunch of money in the bank and you would love to invest in small initiatives that are truly grassroots, then come on over to worthwhilecauses.org, talk to Chad Collins and his team down here, check out our Facebook, and you can come down with me. We'll buy the shoes and we'll go give them out together. And it'll be an amazing adventure. All right. Wow. So look, I started this video to talk about fixing up my YouTube and refactoring some content for our landing page, and I ended up sharing a little bit about my career, and I will again, and then a little bit about a nonprofit that I started where we've got board members who I've known from years way back. We built some technology. They helped people in the United States, and that gentleman said that our systems that we built back then still run serving the public today. He said that is almost unheard of. He uses our software systems as an example of an unexpected success story. Back then, they got a $20,000 grant. We built a system that helps kids at risk at elementary and junior high schools in Chula Vista Community Collaborative Group. They're still using the software today. Shout out to Justin Weedmark, who helped me develop it. We still talk to this day. Thomas Herman is a gentleman's name. He's at San Diego State. He's still helping in education today. That's the kind of stuff and the stories that I have in my background and my history, and I would love to have some more stories. So, you know, this video is more about who is Chad Collins. So let's take a look what LinkedIn has to say. sideways over here. Get that browser. So like, what are these references good for if you don't go ahead and put them in someone's face, right? And there is nobody out there who's gonna watch my 2-hour video about me. Wow, Glenn Weinstein went over there, huh? So like, let's look at my profile. Formerly a Furio, huh? Good for you, man. Interesting guy. Huh. I don't know what that is. I got all these endorsements. Cool. So Greg, I reported to him at that $7 million replatforming initiative where we got bought for $600 million. When I say we got bought, I mean the company got bought. Don't call me asking for $1 million loan. Wait a little while. You get it. So where'd that go? So Greg, look, partner and visionary. Wow. Greg doesn't pull any punches. This alone is like the accolades that I go to bed at night and makes me want to work harder, because that maybe I think I was better back then and I'm gonna just be better now. I'm gonna keep trying. Thank you for that, Greg, from Co-Creators Group. I'm one of the best managers I've ever worked for, no doubt. He is poignant and persistent and thoughtful and even-keeled and a visionary. If anybody's a visionary, it's Greg. If you ever want to work for somebody amazing, and I say work for, like in my business, I can choose a lot of people who I work for. I can choose my clients. Greg's an amazing guy that's one of the things I look at. People say, Chad, we want to hire you. What are you looking for? So I'm looking for one person that I can serve as my boss, who has vision, gives me a green field to work out, like an open canvas, has trust, and he has vision. There's plenty of people I've worked for who really limited vision. Like, no, let's just do that. Let's cut this corner. No, I don't want to work for them. Or they can't control their temper, or they're just about the money. No, I want someone who wants to build the skyscrapers of technology. And Greg has by far been one of those folks that has been the pattern, the design pattern, the mold that I seek out when I go to work for people now. Kawant and I have worked together more than 8 years on countless projects. We've never met in person. He'll be coming over here to visit pretty soon and do some work down here. Rob, I helped him out when LPL moved their corporate headquarters for marketing over to North Carolina, I think it was. People started leaving in San Diego, and eventually there was just a bunch of systems running on their own, and no one knew the passwords except Rob. And he called me up, and I'd been a vendor in the past. I said, Rob, I'll come right over. And I went over there, and there's moments like those have happened to me where it's like an odd experience, because I know I'm an honest person, but I'm literally sitting in the marketing department of one of the largest broker dealers in the United States with all the passwords to all the marketing data. There's like endless trust. And I'm a vendor. Legally, I can do it, but they give me the exposure to the full machines, and I get in there and I unstuck their systems and push things through and shut things down. And it happened to me when I worked with Google Enterprise at Aperio. I helped migrate the Department of Education's mail from Microsoft to Google, a big part of it. And yes, I do have trust in myself, but sometimes I'm still overwhelmed by the amount of trust people give in me. And you know why? Because my mom taught me ethics when I was a kid. And I just believe that there is no cutting corners. There's no copying and pasting other people's leads or data. Be ethical. And when you do that, you will be given the keys to the biggest engines that you can work on, and you will be able to be great in those moments. So here I am again, building my own platform, my own startup, and I've gone in and out of consulting, contractor to employee over my career. Mostly always acted like a consultant, startup person, sold my own companies. Kimbodo is the culmination of all of that. And so yeah, who else? Nick Rodriguez, amazing sales guy. I love Nick. You know, Nick helped me sell some student loans back in the days, and he is just one heck of a guy. I'll buy anything from Nick. Jerry Miller, former CTO of Microsoft. High profile internet scale web application, major marketing company. That's right, $600 million acquisition. I want to ride, you know, I owe it to myself to keep up to this snuff. I learn incredibly quickly. Oh, wow. I swear I wish I would have. If I had it all to do over again on that project, not much I would change, but I would know more, and I would know what to focus even harder on. And I learned a lot from Jerry. In fact, Jerry's enterprise skill set from, you know, he sold a company for 10 million. I forget the name of it. His straightforward and direct ways in business, I loved working with him. He didn't cut no corners, not one bit. He always wanted the best. I found myself to be a little more pragmatic. Not saying I cut corners, but I'll pull things together into working prototypes and then iterate, where he'll shop and get the best technology and get the best programmers and write the best code, take his time. Even though we got pressure coming down, he can deal with pressure and tell people, hey, it's gonna be done when it's gonna be done. Whereas me, pressure does affect me, and that's why I always kind of focus on getting high quality components working together. But as I get older now, I'm getting better at saying, hey, it's gonna take some time, and we're working on it. It's a balance. I love working with Jerry. He's got his company, Cloudticity. He's doing amazing stuff. This is one of those videos where I'm just not sure if I click the go live button or not, and you end up like finishing it and you're like, oh crap, I wasn't even live. Go figure. But I am live. Jeff Morgan, great guy, super knowledgeable at Java back at the time, probably knows a million new things. He awesome to work with when I was on the Google Apereo practice team, Google practice team. We did major installs for some of the biggest names you can imagine on behalf of Google as a consultancy. Jeff, an amazing guy. Ty Kadali, also from the LPL days. I love Ty, very calm leader. Also very diligent about what he wants built. He likes the best. I love working with Ty. Dane, you know, Dane managed a lot of projects at LPL. Really hard guy to get a hold of. On our $3 million rebranding initiative, he was sat on it because he's one of the best in that at the time. 7,000 person company. Dane was amazing. And Dane had nice things to say about me. I couldn't believe it. You know, because I was pretty young in my career in the enterprise space then, so I'm appreciative of that. Jason, I had hired him out of college to come work at the time, the 6th largest mobile gaming company in the world, called, at the time, M-Forma with an M, and they became hands-on. I don't know if they're around or not, but great company, multi-nation, international. I hired Jay, we built a lot of cool technology. He went on to work, I got him over at Google practice team at Apereo. Super knowledgeable guy, wonderful dad. I mean, I don't know if I should mention that, but I mean, he's just a good family man. Really made some technology for me. I showed him some code generation tips, skills, and we built some really cool stuff. I'm sure I could see more accolades on here. I don't usually ask for these types of recommendations, but I'm going over this to remind myself and to remind you guys that it's more than just a resume or how skilled I am today at React, or do I know the latest ES6 or ES7 in JavaScript, which I think I'm pretty good at. It's about all of it. The passion of building this stuff. If I'm working with you on a team and you are competitive against me, I will still help you. I want to partner with you. And I can tell you, you're feeling threatened by me, or if you're kind of a politician, because you'll say things like, Chad's high energy, or we love the enthusiasm. Well, if I find that you're not on my team with that enthusiasm or the high energy building this stuff, I won't say nothing. I'll still work with you, but you're gonna see me do circles around you with me and my team. People will assemble, we will get stuff done, and eventually you'll have to come over to my way of doing it, or at some point I will stop talking to you with full respect, because I'll have taken over the project. Honey, I'll let you out to play in a minute. the way I am. So if you have a project coming up and it's a multi-million-dollar initiative and you need a technology lead, don't hire this dude, the guy who got fired from Facebook. I mean, at this point, he's a hype man. He's making money off YouTube, calling himself a millionaire. I'm gonna have to watch a commercial.
This was me right after.
It gets you every time, right? Hey guys, just wait 1 sec. Don't chew that. Man, I paused it. Are they gonna make me do that?
You see,
No. Give.
To the Tech Lead Show. I'll be your host, the Tech Lead, and today we're going to be talking about how to be a 10x engineer.
Okay. Not a 10x engineer right there. I just watch, but I watch his stuff, and I don't mean to. YouTube serves it up to me. Occasionally, like eating fast food, you're like, let's try a little bit. What's up with his life story? I had respect for him when he was like, oh God, I just got fired by Facebook. Here's what's really going on. He was putting some stuff behind the curtain of his experience. I can understand how hard that can be. But recently, one of his videos was like, I'm a top engineer, and you're not good. And it's like, okay, I'd really like to work with him and see how good his programming skills are. Because every time I've met a programmer who talks like that, they're not that good. They're just not. You gotta be humble because you're not gonna build it all. You gotta be a leader, a tech lead, a true one. He calls himself the tech lead. I'm the true tech lead compared to this guy. Someone come up here. Someone watch my video with my 10 subs, and let's test reality. Come up with $5 million to build anything on the web. Come up with $1 million, even 10 grand. I don't care. Come up with a number that gets this guy interested, that he can't say no. Make it the prize. Put us both in separate offices. Give us a small budget to hire whoever we want, and then give us the requirements, either simple or elaborate. And I promise you, my work and our team's work will be, I don't say 1,000, 10 times better. The spec will be met. Things will be built that you didn't know. There won't be any hemming and hawing about pointing fingers. This gentleman, the tech lead here, was getting you to sign up on Squarespace and whatnot. And I don't know why I'm even babbling about him. Maybe I'm acting like a rapper who talks crap about other rappers when he comes out with his new song. Maybe. But I'm telling you like the truth. Hey, tech lead, if you watch my video one day, dude, I know I just heard you the other day say people were talking stuff about you. But bro, you were kind of getting yourself up there with the tech lead. You worked at Google, then you worked at Facebook, you got fired. I think it's time for you to actually build a technology company using your software skills that you're claiming, instead of being a hype man on YouTube and saying you're a millionaire now and you just want to travel and here's what you feel like when someone breaks your heart. Dude, I could give you some advice to get your heart unbroken, okay? I could tell you some books to go read. You don't got to talk about it on YouTube, or you can to get more likes and subs. But enough about the tech lead. This is about me. And that's about that. So let me just close out by saying, you like my t-shirt, buddy? My dog's name is actually Buddy. When you got 24 rescues, you get to pick a name for every dog. It's amazing. So I'm going to go back over to my channel. And I'm logged in, so you'll see some of the whatnots. You know, my channel, if he was to talk about me, he's like, Chad, you got to dress your channel up. But this 10 subscribers here are 10 people I know, not 10 million people I don't. So I would like to know 90 more folks, because when I get to 100 without buying them, I'll be able to get my own vanity URL on YouTube, and it doesn't mean anything other than it was just a milestone. So if you're watching this video and you've liked it, just remember, I'm Chad Collins, the true tech lead of Kimbodo. Subscribe to my YouTube. Click the button. Click it. Watch me evolve on this channel on YouTube and also on Facebook. All right, guys. I've shared a lot. It felt good to get it out. Remember, if you care about dogs or other animals that need rescuing, so do I. If you want to be part of giving away shoes to people, join my Shoes for People campaign. If you're a student loan company or a student lending marketing company and you want leads, talk to me. I'll build you some landing pages and I'll bring in some leads. I'll do marketing buys. I'll even do pre-qualification with my team. Are you a real estate professional? Then we're developing a program called the 360 Marketing Program. It's the full cyclical thing you need to make things happen. Sales. All right? So I guess I'll close it out with that and say, stay classy, San Diego. I don't know. This has been fun. Now I'm going to stop the recorder there.